Hi everybody, Matt Hudson here again. Thanks for joining us. This is officially our Industry Day Touchpoint 2. Appreciate you taking the time out with us, especially this close to the holidays. We get a little bit more tired and burned out, Matt, but that's okay. We're all about to go into the holiday and rejuvenate. Hopefully everybody saw we were up late last night. Getting the draft 1.75 out. We're actually very excited about that. I think we're getting really close to the end here. I think what we have left is a lot smaller than what we have accomplished. As you probably noticing, we're starting to get to the part of the year where people disappear, and the government employees start to be a little bit more difficult to find. So I would ask you to bear with us. We're keeping all of that in mind. We know exactly how these things go. We're not going to rush to failure. I know that many people are waiting for questions to be answered, waiting for OCI screens, things like that. We do plan to attack those to some extent over the holidays, but not nearly enough. And so you probably won't hear a whole lot of progress from us on any of those fronts until January, early in January. I think the good news is we have a lot less left to do on draft RFP2 than we probably anticipated. So I think we're going to have some time to really focus in. So today we really are kind of looking at really two topics. So this is a little bit shorter, but these are really important topics. So today, for the first time, you're going to get to see somebody other than me, which I think is really good for everyone. So we'll be introducing Chris Metz. Chris is in our new sort of technology firm speak. I view him as sort of our head of an investment advisory, right? So he's our dollars and cents guy. He's the person that's going to make sure that we're spending our dollars wisely and that we're getting maximum return on those dollars. So he's got a lot of good topics. He's going to brush through the price model with you. Really show you how we use that and how we look at those things. Because we're really hoping that as we go into RFP, go into proposal construction, go into evaluation, go into, most importantly, probably the oral discussions and things like that. We want those to be maximally productive. We've looked at a pricing structure that we feel like is going to be very streamlined. So if you see in draft RFP 1.75, we did make a few last minute changes to that. We had a cost price model go out that we're not going to use. We're still updating that to reflect the new lot strategy. Hope to have the new price model out early next week. So look forward to that. I don't think it changes anything what Chris is going to tell you in the video, but just keep in mind that we're trying to get the absolute minimum information, take up absolutely the minimum amount of time to get a reasonable total evaluated price that we can make source selection decisions with. That's the point. Chris is gonna hit that pretty hard. So look forward to that. And then I'm gonna explain probably the biggest single change that you'll see in draft 1.75 that we're excited about. So buckle up. Hi everybody. Matt again. So wanted to talk a little bit about the new lot structure. Those of you who've downloaded draft RFP 1.75 have probably noticed that we've made a pretty big change there. So, those of you who've been providing feedback, thank you. This is one area where your feedback has directly impacted what we're doing with the draft RFP. So as we sort of internalized everyone's thinking, as we started to see how industry was looking at this, and as you've probably seen, we've put out some videos about the task order strategy, we've written about it. We were still struggling a little bit to get to a meeting of the minds there. When we really started thinking about it critically with some of the feedback we were getting, I think we saw a way to simplify that strategy and make it a little easier. And really want to reiterate that strategy is about a user experience thing for you all. So when you see the smaller design task orders, the accelerator task orders, those are meant to allow you to have cash flow during processes that are normally dead space. So while you're doing proposals, while you're doing designs, while you're doing approaches, you don't have to wait around to get cash from us because you're not waiting on a task order. Those are covered. And that was really the intent of it. And so I think we realized we had stratified it a little bit too much and made it a little bit overwrought. So we've simplified those down. We have fewer types, but that linkage is still there. So please take a look at that. We'll probably have a few more deep dives in that later on if we need to. However, I think we're getting pretty close. And in the process of doing that, I think what we saw was, okay, we really have come down to two sort of fundamental big blocks of work that we're planning to do. And so we split that into lot 1 and lot 2. And so lot 1 we see as that core one seamless team who has the overall accountability for transforming the organization. So that's that big digital transformation piece. And then they're going to operate all of the core capabilities. And so we look at that as, if we don't have one belly button there, if we don't have one person who's accountable, that it becomes too difficult and too hard to integrate all of the different transformation efforts. So this is the one person who's like that steady river, pushing the organization forward, carving out the Grand Canyons. You know, we hope not slowly. We hope to have, you know, really evolutionary change. But, you know, that one person for that core task order cycle that'll be re-upped yearly is going to have that overall accountability. And so you'll see, it doesn't mean there's only one awardee. We are planning to award 3 in lot 1, as you can see in the documents. But we're going to use success to determine, you know, whether those people continue through the cycles or whether we conduct fair opportunities for the other awardees to pick that up. So that's kind of the lot 1 mechanism. Now lot 2, by contrast, and this is the new lot, is one where we look at them almost as like a quick reaction squad. So we actually frequently have things pop up where we need to bring a little bit of extra firepower, where we need a little bit of extra workforce muscle. I think the clearest example that I can think of historically in recent memory is when we established the firm. So, you know, the secretary said, hey, get together on the CHR. Congress came back and said, you know, make this office. I'm grossly oversimplifying out there. I don't mean to diminish anyone's efforts on this, but generally that's how it went. What we saw was we had, you know, a multi-month, I think 12-month, 13-month effort to stand up the firm, establish that charter, figure out what they're doing. And so those are the kind of projects where I would see the lot 2 people jump in. And so we've left lot 2 really broad. And you'll see this is not just a throwaway piece of the contract. When we finally do release, I think with the final RFP, as we finalize sort of our estimates for what the ceiling for the contract will be, it's going to be, you know, a pretty substantial chunk of that ceiling is going to go to lot 2. And so the other decision that we made is, if we can find the right prime contractors, we think this would be very well suited to small business. So we have gone ahead and we are thinking that we will set lot 2 aside entirely for small business primes. And you'll see some of the evaluation criteria for the lot 2 is about making sure that we get those really snappy, agile small business primes who bring us expertise from outside of the military health system that can really come in and solve problems. And so we're looking, and we don't know what those ad hoc task orders will look like. They could be, we could have 5 in the first year that last 3 months. We could have 1 that lasts 14 months. And through the life of the contract, that's going to be how it goes. And we will compete those as a fair opportunity, set aside a small business, limited to the small business primes. And we think this is a huge opportunity for small business primes. I actually believe in this new paradigm, we will be putting more dollars into the hands of small business primes than we ever have before. So I'm actually really excited about that. I hope that the community is really excited about that, and we very much look forward to hearing your feedback. So if we don't talk to you again, I think this is the last you will see of me. So happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate. Please spend some time with your family. I hope nothing with this effort is going to force you all to work long hours and things like that. I would just reiterate one last time, We have a very tight, aggressive schedule. We are tracking it, but we are not going to rush to failure. We're not going to put people under undue pressure. I say that after I kept my team up to midnight last night getting draft RFP 1.75 out. But generally speaking, we understand your experience. We want to prioritize it, and so please, everybody, go spend some time with your family. Don't let this RFP at least take you away from them. Keep in mind what's important to everybody out there, especially in this year. I don't think anybody could be more excited about 2020 being over. It's been quite an adventure. So again, thank you for coming along for this ride. We're really excited. Please keep up the feedback. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. Hey everyone, I'm Chris Metz. I'm the cost lead at PEO DHMS. I'm here today to give you an overview of the price volume instructions and how we'll be evaluating your price proposal for Workforce 3.0. I kind of wanted to start today with the PEO DHMS Purpose, Goals, and Strategies, our PGS. Hopefully you're already familiar with them. I know we've shared them already. With everything that we do at PEO DHMS, we're committed to meeting our goals by implementing those strategies that you'll find in the PGS. And that's going to include how we ask you to put together your proposal for Workforce 3.0. One of our strategies to meeting our goals is superior execution. To deliver high quality solutions, applying acquisition best practices with speed and efficiency. We maintain a high achieving culture to deliver timely, customer-focused results. With that strategy in mind, we have crafted instructions and our evaluation criteria for Workforce 3.0 to ensure that we, together, will meet the government's statutory and regulatory requirements, as well as meeting the intent of our solicitation in the most expeditious way so that we can all move out. During this video, I'm going to provide an overview of the price volume instructions, as well as how we're going to evaluate your price proposal. We'll go over the key attachment that you'll use to build and deliver your proposal to us, the cost price worksheet. In addition to the cost price worksheet, we'll be providing you with instructions for how to put together your proposal in Section L of the RFP, as well as how we're going to evaluate your price proposal in Section M of the RFP. We'll also be providing you a PEO DHMS Standard Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS. As you'll see in Section L of the instructions, you'll deliver back to us a completed cost price worksheet, your bases of estimate, and your contractor work breakdown structure and dictionary. Let's talk first about Section L of the RFP, which will provide instructions for how you will put together your proposal. For the price volume, ultimately you will need to provide sufficient information to substantiate the prices that you present in your proposal. The goal is for offers to show a realistic and complete understanding of the requirements of this solicitation. The burden of proof rests with you. We have provided you with 2 tools to show you how we think about price proposals and also to make it easier for you to communicate back to us your proposal in a way that is fully traceable. The first tool that we'll be providing is the cost price worksheet. This Excel workbook is the format in which we want you to provide your proposal. We'll pull up the cost price worksheet and review it in a little more detail in just a minute. The second tool that we'll be providing is the work breakdown structure, or WBS. We at the PEO DHMS live and breathe via the WBS. It provides all of us a foundational framework that helps ensure all portions of the work are covered, as well as to tie together performance, cost, schedule, and risk information. We'll talk some more about the WBS as well. Section M of the RFP will explain how the government intends to evaluate your price proposal. Evaluations are broken down into 3 main areas. Completeness. Does the proposal provide everything required by Section L? Reasonableness. Does the proposed price represent the price that a prudent person would pay in the conduct of competitive business? And realism. Are the prices realistic for the work that has been proposed to be performed? Reflect a clear understanding of requirements, and consistent with the unique methods of performance described in the offeror's proposal. Note that because this contract is intended to be firm fixed price, the government is not going to be performing cost realism, but rather price realism. The distinction is that we are not asking for nor reviewing lower level details like labor categories, number of FTEs, and labor rates broken down in any kind of way. But rather we are ensuring that the proposed prices are realistic at a higher level for the work that you will be proposing. You will see in Section M of the RFP that the government is focusing its Workforce 3.0 evaluation on a subset of representative task orders in order to efficiently evaluate each offeror's proposal. However, each offeror is still being asked to propose prices for all task orders. Look for the table in Section M and also in the cost price worksheet that clearly delineates what will be considered for the price evaluation and what will constitute the total proposed price and ultimately the contract value. The government will be providing not to exceed NTE cost values for some task orders. For those NTE task orders, offers will still be asked to propose an associated fee or profit. As has been mentioned previously and throughout the draft RFP artifacts, the aim of Workforce 3.0 is to provide outsized rewards for exceptional outcomes. As PEO DHMS outcomes improve, so too do the rewards for the Workforce 3.0 partner. To this end, the incentive profit pool and the game changer profit pool will be calculated as a 10 times multiplier of your proposed base fee for the core task orders. This multiplier cannot be changed by offerors. As discussed regarding price realism versus cost realism, for Workforce 3.0, the firm fixed price contract structure means that we are not asking for detailed labor estimates or proposal breakdowns by labor category, FTE, and labor rate. This aligns to the outcome-based strategy of this contract, as well as how we intend to manage it. However, the burden of proof as to credibility of the proposal rests with the offeror. The contractor work breakdown structure, CWBS, is a mechanism for you to provide a more detailed breakdown of your proposed work without providing the incredible detail associated with labor categories. The government will be relying on the detail provided via your CWBS to assess price realism. The PEO DHMS will be providing a standard PEO WBS that aligns to the MIL standard 881. The PEO DHMS will be providing a standard work breakdown structure that we use within our organization that aligns to the MIL standard 881, while also providing some organizational breakdown by program office or project within our PEO and our portfolio. The contractor is expected to extend that WBS to the appropriate level depending on your approach. You'll notice when you open that WBS that the dim sum section aligns to MIL standard 881C, while the rest of the organization aligns to MIL standard 881E. This is not a substantial difference, but I just wanted to note it for you. Now I'd like to give you an overview of the cost price worksheet. We'll start with a version that you'll likely see attached to the RFP. The first tab is an instructions tab. This tab provides a bit of a combination of a table of contents explaining all the other tabs that are in the workbook, as well as some summarized information from Section L. The next tab is a completion checklist. This is provided for informational purposes only. No input is required from offerors, but it could provide a good rundown of what you all should be paying attention to as you're filling out this worksheet. You'll notice on the completion checklist that much of this also looks the same as what you'll find in Section L. On the Workstreams and Price IDs tab, you'll find two sets of data. The first one is a table of work streams or price IDs. These align to those task orders that will be evaluated per the table in Section M and are simply intended to allow us to quickly and easily segregate the evaluated versus the proposed items. Note that the design to outcome incumbent task order is not included in the total proposed price or contract value. The second set of data that you'll find on that tab is a list of task orders. We've restricted the task order column on the next tab, the detail summary tab, to align to these specific task orders on this tab. It's merely for data validation purposes. Again, there's no action required by the offerer on this tab. And finally, the Detail Summary tab. This is the most important tab in the cost price worksheet. You'll use this worksheet to detail the elements that make up your price proposal that are described in your bases of estimate. For each row, you'll include a single element that maps to a single PWS section, a single type, that is labor, material, travel, or ODCs, a single task order, a single CLIN, a single workstream or price ID, a single WBS, and a single entity. This will, as you can imagine, result in numerous rows. Remember that the goal here is to provide enough information for the government to assess price realism. Please do not add superfluous rows. That is, rows with zero value, or subtotal rows, or section headers, that kind of thing. The goal of this worksheet is to be able to leverage the data as a database and build a pivot table to summarize and slice and dice the information that you provide as a part of your proposal. If you do want to create your own summary tables, absolutely feel free to add your own worksheets, but just remember that only the detail summary worksheet constitutes your official proposed pricing. You'll see columns in this worksheet that align to the instructions in Section L and the instructions in this workbook. You'll notice that for those task orders which the government is providing NTE amounts for, this worksheet will come pre-populated in your Detail Summary tab with that information. When you scroll all the way to the right of this sheet, you'll see that the profit percentage column is linked to one additional sheet. That sheet is the Fee Proposal tab, and that is where you will be inputting your proposed fee percentages for the various task orders. We specifically added this tab in order to calculate the 10 times multiplier for the incentive and game changer profit pools. The final tab in this workbook is the price eval table. This table aligns to the one that you'll find in Section M of the RFP. In addition to the information from Section M, you'll also find that we've added calculations based on your inputs into the Detail Summary tab. This should make it incredibly obvious how we will be calculating both the evaluated price and total contract value. The goal is for us all to have the same understanding and expectations. Although the Detail Summary tab is the most important tab in this workbook, from my perspective, I'll be going straight to the Basis of Estimate tabs. When you first get the Cost Price Workbook, you'll see that there are no Basis of Estimate tabs. You should insert additional tabs as necessary to provide sufficient information to substantiate your proposal. And then for the purposes of traceability, you should use formulas to link your BOEs to the Detail Summary sheet. Now I'm going to be pulling up a version of the Cost Price Worksheet that has an example filled out by me. Going straight to the Detail Summary tab, you'll notice that the first 4 columns are filled with metadata that will look identical for every row of your proposal. In my case, I've named my company Metstimates Incorporated. You'll see the proposal date is December 14th, 2012. The requirement number and requirement description will be given to you, but in this case, the description is Workforce 3.0. For the next several columns, you will choose a single response for each column. As explained previously, the task order column has got to be one of the task orders listed on the work stream's price IDs tab. This is built into the worksheet already. The next few columns detail the period in which the given row is relevant for. You'll notice we segregated this example into 7 periods, where the first period is task order 1, which is the 3-month task order, and then 6 follow-on periods, 2 through 7, for each of the core 11-month task orders. For the remaining columns, you'll again choose a single response for each column or else input your proposal. For the total cost column, of course, you'll want to show traceability to the BOE. And so you'll see in my example that it's linked to a BOE tab that I've added. Take note of the instructions in section L about the content that we're looking for and the basis of estimate. The more information you can provide to substantiate your offer, the easier it will be for us to evaluate your offer. Finally, on the Detail Summary tab, you'll find the profit percentage column will come already linked to another tab that we've added, the Fee Proposal tab. On the Fee Proposal tab, we'll make it really obvious to see which task orders you will be proposing fee against. All of them except for the incentive and game changer pools, which will be calculated based on the 10 times fee multiplier off of the core proposed base fee. You'll see in this example that I proposed fees of 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42%. In this example, a 42% proposed base fee for the core results in a 420% calculated proposed incentive fee for the incentive and game changer pools. Thank you for watching this overview. I truly hope that it has been helpful. In our experience, the cost price worksheet has been a success, and we hope that you find it straightforward. Of course, as always, feel free to ask questions either informally via the PEO DHMS Hive, which I am a part of as well, or officially through the PEO DHMS email box. Have your team register on the Hive. Be a part of the conversation. Your feedback truly matters. I'm incredibly excited for Workforce 3.0. Have a wonderful holiday. See you in 2021.